This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2023 Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4 as well as a hybrid system, and down below is an eCVT. Now I am super excited to be driving this CR-V for many reasons, but mainly the fact that this is all new for 2023. This is the first year of this new body style, and I'm excited to get into it. You know, the CR-V is such a well-known, well-beloved vehicle. Let's see if Honda can keep that tradition going. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradle.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car, just like the one you're watching about this here CR-V. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that hybrid drive system. So the first part of that is the 2-liter 4-cylinder. They've been using that engine for a very long time. So it's a thoroughly thought through engine. You're not gonna have too many issues. If you do have an issue, parts availability is gonna be very easy. But like I said, paired to it is the hybrid system consisting of 2 electric motors, making the CR-V all-wheel drive, but also delivering power and filling in the gaps when necessary. You can drive this vehicle in just EV mode at slow speeds and for a short amount of time, which is really, really neat. It also does have an eCVT. Now, I don't have a mechanical engineering degree, and I can't really describe to you what the eCVT is. It's been described to me many times, and it still doesn't stick. But what I can say from a reviewer standpoint who's reviewed over 970 cars, it's quiet, it's calm, it's collected, it does the job well. You don't really even notice the transmission. Unless you really get on it, then it feels a little weird, but how often are you flooring it in your CR-V? Not all that much. All of that paired together makes 204 horsepower, but more importantly gets you 43 miles to the gallon in the city and 36 miles to the gallon on the highway. 43 in the city is pretty doggone good. So with the drivetrain stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior, because this is also all new for 2023. Well, in front of me I have some mixes of digital and physical gauges. Off to the left, this is actually my power percentage. So basically treat this like a tachometer, however, it also shows me my EV charge. In the center I get my speed limit of the road, my odometer, and fuel, and off to the right is just a very standard speedometer. Now I can adjust these gauges a little bit if I would like. I can add some content to the left gauge, and I really, really like that. I like the digitalness, however, it keeps some sort of physical gauges going, and I think it's a nice blend of modern and traditional, which is what I've come to expect from Honda. On the steering wheel, on the left, I get my skip track volume and that scroll wheel for the customizable gauge, and on the right, I have my radar cruise control settings. So this does have adjusting radar cruise and steering assist, which is all very nice. I also get paddle shifters around the back of the steering wheel. This is actually for the regenerative braking, so I can make it more or less aggressive with these paddles. I also do have a heated steering wheel, so the Sport Touring is the highest trim level you can currently get of the CR-V, paired with the hybrid, so it has all the bells and whistles. Off to the left, I do get a climate control vent, as well as my rear tailgate and traction control off. And moving on to the door, I have 2 different memory seat options: power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have the infotainment screen. It is touchscreen, has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and I really like the colors of it. This is Honda's more modern system. They've been using this for a couple of years in a couple of their vehicles, but it hasn't gone to their full fleet until now, and I really like it. It's also a Honda, so it has a ton of different backup camera options. Really love that they give you that customization if you want a wide angle, narrow, whatever it might be. However, I don't have any crazy, really cool apps. It's pretty standard from there on out, and if you've driven the new Civic, It's the same system. Down below that, we do have 2 adjustments for the climate control vents as well as the hazard switch. This is Honda's new design language. The Civic also has this wide vent. The new Integra also has this wide honeycomb vent. And I like it. I think it does feel modern and feels nice inside. Then I have the climate controls. Of course, I do get dual zone climate, which is a huge win. But what I really love is the tactile feedback of the dials and their little digital displays at the front. I think it looks very fresh, looks very good, and looks minimalist enough, but still has some substance to it. That's really how I feel about the overall interior. Let's cut to a panning shot of the overall interior. It's minimalist enough, but it still has, you know, some meat and potatoes there. It's not completely blank. Like, look at this Tesla Model 3. There's nothing going on in there. Well, this has some attributes here and there, but it's not overly stimulating. And I really, really like that. But let's get back to some of these features. Down below, I have a traditional USB as well as a USB-C and a 12-volt outlet. And then I have a wireless charging pad down below, as well as a little cubby space with an anti-slip pad. And then we come to the shifter itself. So off to the left, I have a couple different drive modes. So I have Sport, Normal, Econ, and Snow. Very, very nice settings here in the CR-V. Really love that. Then I have hill descent control and my power parking brake and brake hold. Then to the right, we get the traditional shifter. Very, very standard Honda here. Nothing new. However, I like the look and feel of it. Feels fresh and modern, which I know I've been saying that a lot throughout this video, but it's really true with this interior. I think it does look nice. I was a little hesitant because the CR-V is such a cornerstone vehicle that maybe they sort of phoned it in a couple areas. Really doesn't feel that way. Then we do have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2023 Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid. And unfortunately, it does not pass. There have been a lot of modern Hondas that do pass the big friggin' bottle test, but alas, the all-new CR-V is not one of them. Then I do get a pretty sizable center console. Has a nice leather lid to it with this nice stitching as well. Really like that little touch. But then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are power, they are leather, and they are heated, which I am very, very pleasantly enjoying today. And overall, they're comfortable, and they're what I would come to expect out of a modern Honda product. Speaking of seats, however, we do have back seats, so let's go do backseat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid. And a couple of things to note. First of all, this is not a 3-row SUV, so you get a really nice amount of space for the second row. Head not hitting the ceiling, knees are not hitting the seat in front of me. I'm 5'11" and not a small guy. I do get 2 USB-C ports back here. I guess they figure your kids' devices are gonna be more USB-C than the front. I don't know, whatever that might be. I do also get a center console, 2 cup holders in there. And other than that, nothing really crazy to write home about. But I always say with the CR-V, it's always a really good size because it has room for that second row, nice and comfy back here, but we're not trying to squeeze the third row back there. I think overall, really, really works well all together. Let's hop around the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the CR-V, and we can press and hold here for the rear tailgate to pop up, and then it comes up like that. Really, really like that. Nice, plain, and simple. Once we are back here, 12-volt outlet, love to see it. And we do have plenty of storage space. However, you can't actually pull up the floor. Normally, in other CR-Vs, you could pull up the floor and there'd be the spare tire there or something like that. I assume that's for the electric motor or something, but you can't pull up the floor. So this is the storage space that you get in the back of the CR-V. Fantastic. And then come up here and close it like that, and it automatically closes. Brilliant. Now we got to talk about the looks, and I think it hits a good middle ground where it's still noticeably a CR-V, but there are some new design quirks. The back end, honestly, to me, looks very BMW X3. I don't know if you see it, but I most certainly do. But I think it's good for Honda to keep pushing the envelope, to keep changing things and not get too comfortable with, let's be honest, their best-selling product, the CR-V. For a time in the late 2000s, it was the best-selling SUV in the United States. So to see that they're not getting too complacent with designs or too boring or too outdated, I like that. I like that they're changing things and pushing it ever so slightly. But now, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving the brand new Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, it's a really, really good mix of new and old. Driving this car, I'm immediately comfortable because I've driven so many CR-Vs before. I know how they drive, I know how they act, and this is like every other one. There's nothing new in terms of driving feel, and that's good. That's good in my opinion, because it's a good recipe. The CR-V has always been a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Peanut butter on one slice, jelly on the other, you put it together and it's a fantastic experience every time. It fills the void, it cures your hunger, and you don't need much more. That's what the CR-V has always done, and that's what this CR-V does. However, just in a little bit of a new skin, some added features here and there, some refinement. Now, this does feel a lot larger than older CR-Vs of the past. However, I do have a caveat answer to that, and that's the fact that the HR-V has gotten larger. So the HR-V kind of filled the gap that the original CR-V filled. So if you do want a slightly smaller SUV, but still like the looks, still like the proportions, still like that 2-liter, not a hybrid, but just the 2-liter, well, the HR-V is definitely there for you. My video review of that car will be at the end of this one. But overall, I don't really have any complaints about the new CR-V. I like it. I like it as much as I've liked any of the past CR-Vs. Now, it's not revolutionary. It's not groundbreaking. If I were driving to the premiere of the Shooting Cars movie, would I choose to show up in a CR-V? No, not quite, but that's okay. It's so great because of how simple and how much it just works. This thing just works, man. That's what I love. I've always loved that about CR-Vs, and I'm very happy to report that Honda didn't mess that one up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Francisco Herrera Jr. from the Honda Superstore of Joliet. He is absolutely awesome. He got me right into the seat of one of these. This is still a very fresh, very hot car. They're just starting to hit dealer lots. And so, talk to Francisco. He will hook you up with one of these. He's a Mitsubishi guy. He's a big fan of Mitsubishis and Eclipses and Talons and things like that. I've reviewed a couple of his on the channel. And yet, he is actually purchasing one of these for himself. That's how much he really believes in the product. That is really, really cool to see. And I love hearing those stories from dealers and such. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.